Hi, this is Mystery Explainer. Today I'm going to describe Nightmare Cinema, an American horror anthology film. There will be spoilers ahead. Keep an eye out and be cautious. Samantha, the protagonist of the film, is strolling around the streets late at night. As she approaches the cinema named Rialto, she realizes that it is displaying the thing in the woods with her name underneath it. Then she decides to enter the cinema and watches the movie, taken aback. Samantha soon sees a bloodied version of herself fleeing from someone in the woods. That someone is the welder, a massive butcher with a metal mask over his face. Samantha is running for her life when she falls over a dead body, nearly giving her a heart attack. Fortunately, her lover Jason comes and takes her aside. They then flee the scene before the welder can apprehend them. They eventually reach the road after hours of running and notice a car approaching them. Jason instantly requests a ride, and happily, it is a police car. A chubby-faced officer approaches the couple and inquires as to why the girl is covered in blood. After Jason has explained everything, he offers to give them a lift. But just as they are about to depart, the welder appears in front of them. The officer jumps out of the car and fires several shots at the behemoth. As a result, Welder fell to the ground. However, as he walks to his car, he trips and falls, shoots himself, blowing out his brain. The welder also stands up and begins pursuing the couple. In the next scene, they arrive at the home of one of their friend, Mike. Samantha tells everything to the latter, who is perplexed by their situation. The welder then appears outside and tosses a hammer, knocking Mike to the ground. When the welder attempts to enter, Jason closes the door and pulls the shotgun off the wall to shoot him. His plans are foiled when the welder bursts down the door and enters the house, stabbing Mike with a weapon. Jason shoots him, but the welder saves himself by using Mike as a shield. When one of the bullets hits Mike in the head, it explodes, splattering blood everywhere. Samantha flees to the basement, terrified by what she has seen. Jason then begins battling the welder, attempting to use a knife on him. The welder, on the other hand, manages to stab him with it. After that, he is burnt to death with a burning device. Samantha enters the basement at the same moment and screams in despair when she discovers mangled bodies within. Hearing her boyfriend's last cry, she accepts her fate and chooses to fight rather than escape. She comes from the basement with the intent of killing the welder and attacks him. Surprisingly, she easily overpowers him. His mask falls off seconds before he is slain. As it turns out, the murderer is Samantha's friend, Fred. When asked what's going on, Fred advises her to recall what happened last weekend. The picture suddenly jumps back to a week earlier, when Samantha and her pals arrive to the woods for a night out. In contrast to their predicament a few minutes before, they get along like regular people. Everything is going swimmingly until they observe something large descending from the sky. Jason seizes the chance to explore the woods and contribute to their experience. Within an hour, the group goes out to identify the item that dropped and discovers that it has had an impression on the earth. When an inquisitive Jason touches the lump, a swarm of spiders emerges and chases the group. Everyone is terrified and attempts to flee, but the spiders follow them and enter their bodies in a horrible way. It turns out that once the insects have taken over a person's body, they can control them. The spiders quickly take over everyone except Fred. He makes it to the cabin and resolves to kill his friends in order to stop the spiders from spreading their wrath. He cleverly dresses in the welding costume and begins murdering all of his friends. Samantha recalls everything, even how the spider got inside her body as she returns to the present. Just as she realizes, her skull bursts apart, revealing a spider hidden inside. Fred instantly gets an axe and murders her. When he steps out of the home, however, a big swarm of spiders surrounds him. In the next scene, we see Fred driving a car toward the next city. Movements may be observed within his head, indicating that he has been inhabited by the spiders as well. The following story is about a young couple named David and Anna. They decide to make love in an empty theater one night. It turns out that this is the same theater where Samantha was. Suddenly, the screen goes black, and the pair is shown a movie in which they play themselves. Anna and David are having dinner at a restaurant like they typically would, however. Anna has a tiny scar on her cheek in this film. Despite David's assurances that she is beautiful, she feels self-conscious about her scar. David offers to pay for her cosmetic surgery to boost her self-esteem. He talks about his mother, who has undergone multiple facial surgeries and believes that is entirely normal. Anna arrives at the clinic the next day, where Dr. Leaner examines her scar. Anna agrees to the treatment when the doctor certifies that the plastic surgery would eliminate 95% of the scar. Anna is soon asleep, and the doctor works his magic on her. She dreams of going down the aisle to David at her wedding, but when she arrives, Dr. Leaner and the staff are holding bloody equipment. Anna awakens, terrified, to find the nurse and David looking at her bandaged face. Anna quickly falls asleep as a result of the medications, and David seizes the chance to picture her. When Anna wakes up, she begs the nurse for a mirror, but the nurse denies her request and refuses to let her make any phone calls. Anna finds it unusual that she is being separated from the outside world and decides to leave her room to explore. She locates the nurse's computer and skims through it, discovering some strange facts regarding the procedure she undergone on her. The nurse reappears before she can examine any farther. Samantha decides to run, but on the way, she hears someone inside her room pleading for help. She walks in and is shocked to see a lady whose eyes and nose have been surgically removed, rendering her inhumane. Anna attempts to escape, but is stopped by the nurse. She manages to knock the nurse out and enter the elevator, but as it comes to a halt, the doctor awaits her outside. They sedate her and return her to the operating table to do yet another surgery on her. In the next scene, we find Anna waking up close to David. She removes her bandages and examines herself in the mirror, only to discover that she no longer resembles herself. Her face structure has changed. She has scars and her nose has been partially removed. Samantha yells aloud when David's mother enters the room and compliments her appearance. The scene shifts abruptly back to the auditorium, where Anna is now alone. She goes about and runs into the projectionist, who tells her that the film is about her worst nightmare. Samantha yells at the end of the scene. The third story in the series begins outside the same cinema as the first. When he sees his name displayed outside, a church dad named Benedict enters the cinema. He is asked to sit and is shown a film about his church. Then we see a possessed youngster named Peter standing on the church's rooftop. He exhibits erratic behavior and threatens to leap. A nun rushes up to Peter and attempts to stop him. She ultimately persuades him, and Peter tries to take her hand in his. However, before he can, the wicked spirit pushes him over the roof. People who witness the occurrence are shocked as blood splatters everywhere. Donnie, one of Peter's friends, is mourning his death late at night as her mother attempts to calm the frightened youngster. Somewhere else, we observe Father Benedict and the nun having love, which is against church laws. They come out to explore after hearing a commotion nearby. To their surprise, they are greeted with blood marks all over the church. Danny gets tormented at church the next day by one of her friends. She attempts to protect herself, causing the bully to be assaulted by an unknown power. Just as everyone is beginning to wonder what occurred, the girl discovers a devil-like thing standing behind Danny's mother. Later that night, an evil spirit takes possession of all the females. In order to find a way out of predicament, the nun reads a book on the devil. She comes to the conclusion that they are being assaulted by a devil named Mashit. She tries to transmit the word to the father, but Peter's spirit appears and warns them that the devil is someone they know. Because the father and nun feel that the evil spirit is within Danny, they decide to exorcise her before it's too late. When they attempt, Danny's mother intervenes and removes her from them. Later, the father understands that the devil has always been inside Danny's mother. Danny's mother then enters the girls' quarters and tortures each of them. The father and the nun rush inside the room, where they see Danny's mouth has stitched shut. Soon after, the children, influenced by the devil, begin assaulting them. The father and nun defend themselves with a sword and murder several of the children reluctantly. However, they revive and shoot and kill the father. Meanwhile, Danny's mother climbs to the rooftop and prepares to kill herself. The nun attempts to stop her from killing herself, but Donnie's mother grabs her and they both fall to their deaths. Danny's mother dies, but the nun miraculously survives. The demonic spirit has now seized the nun, it is revealed. The action returns to the cinema, where the father is horrified. The projectionist approaches him from behind, hits him hard, and kills him. The next story is about Helen, a woman who also enters the cinema. In her film, she's in a hospital with her boys, who constantly tease her. Helen looks around the hospital and finds everything odd, considering her diminishing mental condition. Later, when she meets with the doctor, she attempts to describe the peculiar environment in which she finds herself, but is stopped by an emergency call from the doctor's assistant. Helen is then urged to visit with the doctor the next day. Helen panics after leaving the room reluctantly because she does not see her sons around. She looks for them everywhere and asks the workers, but no one appears to pay her any attention. Helen, frustrated, pulls a revolver from her suitcase and attempts to shoot herself. She hears her sons' voices outdoors and follows them for a few seconds before pulling the trigger. She discovers the doctor and her son's shadows on the other side of the door. They're discussing her illness and how the only way to assist her would be for her to commit herself. They also add that they have given her a pistol with a single bullet for the same reason. When the doctor thinks Helen is listening in on their chat, she approaches them and shoots him in the head. She then snatches her sons away from the scene to take them home. The scene then moves to the cinema when Helen discovers another pistol inside her purse. Her account concludes with a gunshot, implying that she eventually carried out the act. The last story is about a young boy named Riley. He's going down a street at night while listening to music when he discovers the cinema. Unaware of the terror within, he enters and watches a film about himself. In the film, he is a great pianist who is performing in front of a large crowd. His pleased parents are in the crowd, taking in their son's performance. The family is in their car after the concert when a stranger enters from the back seat and grabs Riley at gunpoint. He tells the parents to get out of the car and kneel. Riley and his mother are shot as Riley's father retaliates. Riley tries to escape, but the kidnapper shoots him as well. Riley wakes up in a hospital, horrified by what happened to his parents in the next scenario. The doctor avoids any queries about his parents, which irritates the child. Riley experiences strange things happening around him while in the hospital. After a few hours, he is visited by the kidnapper, who poses as his family. A nurse comes just as he is ready to kill the kid and asks him to return the next day. Later, Riley meets another patient called Casey, and we learn from their conversation that they can see deceased people. Riley gets a vision of his mother requesting him to accompany her the next day. She wishes for her son's death so she can be with him in the hereafter. Casey interrupts their chat and requests that Riley be allowed to live. She walks away telling Riley to be strong and not fall for his mother's comments. Riley's mother murders the girl not long after. Later that night, Riley's captor returns and attempts to kill him for the third time. The child escapes and hides inside one of the mortuary containers with Casey's corpse. He only climbs out of the container after many minutes, believing he is secure, but the abductor is still waiting for him. Riley has another vision of his mother pleading with him to give up. At the same time, Casey advises him to fight back and live. Riley listens to Casey and stabs the kidnapper in the neck with a stick to kill him. Riley is being brought to his room when the dead kidnapper reappears. The scene is then shifted to the cinema, where Riley is terrified of what he has just seen. The projectionist approaches him and tells him that if he wants to preserve his life, he must flee. He must flee. He also adds that all of the prior participants are no longer alive. In the final scene, the projectionist places Riley's tape on a shelf. As the camera zooms out, we discover that the shelf has a great number of these boxes.